Girl, stop playing.
Hey, girl, stop playing. I gotta get like a little remix going. Y'all, we are here, episode 1 of the Girl Stop Playing podcast. Your host, Koereyelle. I am so excited to officially kick off the Girl Stop Playing podcast show. This thing has been a long time coming. So y'all know I have officially laid the Confessions of a Workaholic podcast to rest because I know that there is a higher purpose, a bigger mission, and I really truly want to help Black women prepare to be loved properly. And that is what the Girl Stop Playing podcast show is all about. Now today I have a super special guest, like the most special guest that I could possibly have that y'all are going to get to meet in just a second. But before I introduce him with his fine self, I got to make sure that y'all remember that this Sunday, February 13th, I am hosting a totally free Super Bowl survival session. So for my single ladies who don't know what Super Bowl means, come here. Come in closer. It's your time, sis. This is your opportunity to connect with marriage-minded, masculine men in a natural environment without the pressure of, having to be in the perfect place. You literally can put yourself in position. So this Sunday, I'm giving you the rundown on how you can make the most of your time at the Super Bowl parties. So make sure you tune in to that. The link to subscribe and tune into that free session will be in the show notes. It's also in the link in my Instagram bio. Not only can you join me for the Super Bowl survival session, that's like a tongue twister, I'm also hosting the Single Season Summit on February 20th. If you are ready for this to be your last season as a single woman, I need for you to pull up because for 4 full hours, we are going to unpack whether it's your desires, your decision making, or your discipline that might be leading to the downfall when it comes to your dating. So pull up. Ever since 2012, when I founded the Single Wives Club, I have been creating these resources, relationship readiness resources, to help single women prepare to become wives. And this Girl Stop Playing podcast is my opportunity to bend the block and bring back some brand new resources for y'all. Because in order for me to get the man of my dreams, I had to stop playing. So let's go ahead. Can we pan? Do the fancy thing. Bring him on. There he is. Looking good. Hey, boo. You got to come closer. Come closer to the mic. Hear him. So, none other than the man himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Doctor. Put some respect on your name. Dr. Mallard is in the building. So, I'm super excited, obviously, about this conversation. I feel like this has been like a long time coming. Like, you have been in the wings. You've been like behind the scenes. You've been behind the emojis that I plastered all over your face at one point in time. You've been like the mystery man for a while. And so I think that it's important, for us to open up the show by dispelling these myths and, laying the mysteries to rest. So it's so, it's some myths, it's some mysteries, it's the rumors. You know how they do on the internet. So we're going to open up episode 1 and clear the closet. But before we do that, though, we got to talk about the title of this show, because I know that you read How Tinder Helped Me Meet My Husband, and you thought, okay, sis, did you meet this man on Tinder? I did not. I did not meet this man.
Never been on Tinder, by the way.
He has never been on Tinder or any of the
Plenty
apps.
of fish.
None of the apps, but your girl was on the apps, okay? The way that Tinder helped me to manifest this man, long story short, because it's a long story. We're going to get into it at the Single Season Summit. I'm going to tell y'all like how you can do exactly what I did. However, I put myself on this 10-date Tinder challenge, right? I said to myself, if you cannot meet a man that you're at least interested in, like that you like just a little bit, after 10 dates, you the problem. It's you. Something is wrong. So I put myself on this challenge to put myself out there, to get myself back in the energy of being open and, the spirit of having fun and connecting and engaging. And even though I didn't make it to the 10th day, I only made it to number 7. I know for sure that me putting that intention behind it and me taking action and ownership over this dating process is what really put me in the spirit to be able to attract you. So the Tinder challenge ended in February 2016. 2017. We met in May 2017. And I know, hands down, 1,000%, the only reason why you got my number.
The only reason? I don't know if it's the only reason.
One of the reasons why you got my number was because I had already been in this mindset of I'm dating, I'm having fun. I had taken the pressure off of I got to find my husband, which is something that as, the clock starts ticking, we start taking the fun out of the process of dating and connecting and, aligning and assigning, which is what I like to call it, the selection process. We take the fun out of it and it becomes this stressful thing. So Tinder definitely helped me to take the pressure out of it. It helped me to put the fun back into it and ultimately find you. So speaking of finding you, let's talk about it. Because, and I want to start here, obviously, it's like the foundation of everything. So it makes sense to start here. But I think it's important to highlight where we met specifically, because I know as a single woman, I was reading all of the books, trying to follow all of the rules, trying to do all of the quote unquote right things. I met your ass at a club. So tell the story, baby.
Yeah, we were at the club. I won't name the club, but
it was Medusa. You could name it. I think it's closed down.
But what happened that night, man? It was a crazy night. But I was actually coerced into coming out that night. I was home in the bed. I think I was watching Love Jones or something, watching some movie. But decided to go out that night, man. I'm glad I did. Probably the best decision I made. But went out that night. We actually ended up in a section together. Crazy. Had a mutual friend from Tallahassee. Ended up in a section together, and I think you might have been the first person I saw when I got up there.
Was it a twinkle in my eye?
It was a twinkle in your eye. Seriously, no. For real. It
said
really
that.
was a
I don't
twinkle.
know what it was.
But she gave me this look, man. I don't know what it was, what she was drinking, but she gave me this look that night. And I was just like, dang, who is that? Who is this young lady up here? I actually thought maybe we knew each other or something, It was a lot of people from Tallahassee up there. I'm like, maybe she went to FAM or something. I'm like, I got to figure out
she did not
what's the connection. But long story short, we're in the section together. It happened pretty quick, actually. We caught eyes, like I said. They pouring drinks. I think I came over to you, and I think you were with Tasha that night. Asked you guys for a drink. I don't even remember if you said anything, but I think Tasha was like, yeah, I'll take some champagne. And so poured you guys a glass of champagne, came back a few minutes later, and y'all were gone. And I looked up, I'm like, dang, where'd the chick go? Like, what? We just got here. So I looked over and I saw you headed to the bar. So I'm like, all right, she's just going to, grab her a drink or something. Maybe she ain't want to, intrude or whatever. But saw you leaving and I was just like, man, something just pulled me that night. I don't know what it was, but something pulled me to just be like, nah, you got to go get her, bro. You can't wait for her to come back. You know what I mean? Like this is it. So I was with my cousin Jamal. Told him like, hey, bro, I'll be right back. He was like, man, what happened? Where the girls go? What a young lady that you were talking to? And I was like, man, she left. I'm about to go get her. And so I didn't want to like chase you through the club.
He did though, y'all. He chased me through the club.
But no, I didn't chase her. I didn't chase her.
What'd you do?
Actually, I did. I ran.
He
ran about.
He chased me.
I was like, man, I'll be right back. I was like, worst case scenario, they going to the dough. Let me just go to the dough and see what happened.
He was waiting on me.
And sure enough, it was like we like crossed paths right at the same time.
We did.
Saw you, and I was just like, man, what's going on? Why you leaving? We talked a little bit.
So wait, pause right there. What happened when you asked for my phone number? From your perspective, because I know what happened from my perspective.
I mean, you paused initially and kind of like looked at, I think, Tasha. Kind of got that confirmation, like, girl, what's going on?
I know how y'all be doing. You need to get like the little wink from your
Like I said, y'all were trying to get out the door, so it was kind of quick. It was a quick thing. You remembered me from the section. That was clear. So it was like, all right, well, whatever. So gave you your number. We actually texted that very night. I think I was leaving for a trip the next day or a couple of days later. So we were talking about traveling, and you told me how much you traveled, and that was it.
And the rest is history.
I would say the rest is history. No, it was more to the story. I left out of town, came back. Week later, I think I hit you up once or twice. Hey, what's going on? Like, let's get together. And we were actually supposed to get together on a Friday. I remember this. It was a Friday. He was like, yeah, hit me up on Friday. I'm off. We can kick it. Called you on Friday, no answer. I think I shot you a text. No answer, of course. Saturday, no answer. And so after that, I'm like, first of all, I don't really get numbers in the club like that. I mean, I do, but I don't take you serious. So the fact that I got your number in the club, it was just like, all right, that's it's another one. I'm not gonna chase her. But what happened was you actually popped up on a friend of mine's page just randomly, like I think that next day or something. I'm like, hey, this is the chick from Medusa. And you told me your name was Corey, but when the name popped up, it said Koereyelle, and I'm just like, I know it got to be her. I'm like, I only seen one chick in Atlanta with that cut. You had
I had my little
you had the little shortcut
side.
with the side shave. So I'm like, that's her. And so that actually made me reach out, and I was like, man, let me just hit her right now and see what's up. And literally, I hit you up. Was like, hey, what you doing? Like, let's link up, like tonight. Let's go somewhere tonight. And you was down with it. I thought you was gonna play me at first. Honestly, I thought I'm about to show up. This chick ain't even gonna come. I hadn't heard anything from you. You had hit me back. Like the last I had heard from you, it was like, yeah, we can link up Friday, and then it was like, boom, ghost.
So I literally almost missed my blessing, which I think is very important to note because I was not. I wasn't pressed. I mean, neither one of us were pressed, but we weren't. We were just going with the flow, which is what I think was just like the perfect foundation is the fact that we were going with the flow, and we weren't, in my opinion, trying to decide that we were going to be married on the first day that we met. But one thing that I want you to mention, because I think it's super important, I was like, not that I was playing around. I just wasn't, like I said, I wasn't pressed. I was dating. I was in the dating phase, but I wasn't like, texting you back right away and answering the phone and all those types of things. You told me later that that was like it. Like I had one more time.
I was done.
What is that for men? Because I think that, and we're about to get into like some real juicy questions that y'all asked and that I'm added in here for y'all. But what is that for? Because women, I don't want to say we play games, but
y'all play games.
I'm not.
Play period.
Is that playing games?
Y'all play games. Girl, stop playing. That's the name of the show.
Girls,
we know
stop
why
playing
we here.
these games. But why was that? Why did I only have one more chance?
It's just not being desperate for one. Girls don't like desperate men. So I know if you look too thirsty, like, what's up with this dude? He a little too. You called me 5 times and I haven't responded. I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna text you 5 times.
Yeah, and I didn't get thirsty vibes.
I think that's weird.
That is kind of weird. But I think that it's important from that to note that we met in a club, which that's a whole thing. But from us meeting in the club,
honestly, it was a thing for me.
Meeting in the club, though, I've met so many other people that found their husband in the club, which is crazy to me, but it dispels the myth that you got to be at this perfect place to find, a quote unquote husband. However, there are places, I will say this, there are places that you can go that will increase your chances of meeting different type of men. The club might not be on my list, but
you can meet me
when
in
it's
the club,
time. And when it's
that
time, all of that stuff doesn't matter, which is what I think is important. Yes. Yeah. So we met in the club. We met over 30. We were 30 plus. We've both previously been engaged. Mm-hmm. So we met post relationship issues. A lot of things that I think people watching or just single people in general feel like it lessens the chances or lessens the likelihood that they can actually find someone. So I also, before we get into these questions, I want to talk about like where you were mentally before we got together. Because I talked about this last week with David. I didn't necessarily feel like I was going to have to settle, but I felt like I was going to have to, I guess, settle in the feeling that I had for my husband. Like, I didn't think that God was going to forget about me. I knew that I would get married, but I thought that I would just have a good husband that wasn't necessarily like
I was in
my head over heels
space.
In love.
Yeah, similar space. Thought I would just, meet somebody that fit what I was looking for. But like I said, no butterflies, no, nothing crazy. But, we worked on paper. We can raise a family together, somebody that, has character, has morals, values.
But you were, so I guess that's settling then, right? That's like, well, if I'm not married by the time I'm 35, I'm just going to find a great guy who.
I don't think it was settling. I think it's more so finding what's important. So you may not get everything, but you can get something. You can get the majority of what you're looking for out there.
Okay.
So maybe that's what it was. It was like, I'm not going to get the perfect person.
So today's Ask Co question submitted by Let me ask my producer who this question was. Miss Paloma. Miss Paloma, this is from you, girl. Miss Paloma wants to know how you can recognize when you've met the one. So I want to share how I recognize, and then I'll allow you to share as well, because I don't think we often get to hear the man's perspective on these topics, which is why I didn't want to just spend this time just, us talking about us, which, we'd love to answer any questions. But I really wanted this to be a helpful conversation, because you either have, the opinion that a man should just accept you as you are. You're the prize. The man should chase you, yada, yada, yada. You have that opinion, or you have the Kevin Samuels, you're going to die alone opinion. And there's not much gray. There's not much middle ground. There's not much helpful advice that isn't equally as hurtful. So I want to be able to offer that. But in answering this week's Ask Co question, how do you know when they are the one? Speaking for myself, I will definitely say there was something, very much something that was different. I know that we've all heard that, when you know type of thing. Yeah. And that sounds like fairy tales. But I knew. So I didn't know that, like, you were going to be my husband. Like, the day I met you, the day we went on the first date, I didn't know, okay, you're going to be my husband. But I knew I wanted to keep you around. I knew something was different about you. And because of that knowing, when things came up, y'all, he stood me up twice. I told him I was going to say this publicly one day. Today's the day. He stood me up twice.
Tell the entire story.
I'm going to tell a little bit of it. While we were in the beginning phases, like the really, really, really new beginning phases. But because my spirit recognized something in him, it wasn't the cut and dry, oh, he stood me up, I'm never going to talk to him again type of thing. It wasn't the, oh, he didn't, it wasn't the cut and dry, I'm ghosting you, never talking to you again type of thing that normally would be my first reaction, because I knew something was different.
Yeah. And initially I thought that was going to be the reaction. Like,
I
thought it was over with.
So, but I think it again comes to when you know, because when someone is, someone's true intentions. Yeah. I think you can feel it. Now, ladies, I believe that our greatest gift from God is our intuition. That gut instinct that is God literally warning you, giving you direction, all of those things. I believe we all have it. We just don't usually listen to it. We don't act on it. So it goes both ways. I think you get that feeling when you are in danger and it's like warning, but I also think you get that little confirmation. And that's definitely what showed me initially that there was something special about you. The other thing too was consistency. That's my love language. My love language is consistency. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to be everything that I want you to be. Just consistently be who you say you're going to be. That's it. Just consistently be you. And you were hands down the most consistent, to this day, the most consistent person. And I'm not just talking about like, huh?
I said, even after I stood you up twice.
Even after you stood me up, seriously, even after you stood me up twice, it was like I knew your heart. Like, I knew you weren't lying. I knew you had really, it was different. And that difference, I think, for me, is how I knew that you were the one. So go, your turn.
I mean, I would say it was different, like you said, from the initial meeting. I think what attracted me was what I saw that was different in you, because, like I said, we were in a section. There was other women in the section. You and Tasha weren't the only women, and so I saw something different. We were around pro athletes that night, and you were unbothered. She was like, "Man, these clients, let me get out of here." Here go a goofy one coming up to me right now. I was that goofy one. But yeah, I saw something different, man. You weren't intrigued. You weren't impressed by the bottles and the glitz and the jewelry and you were just there because you knew somebody, and they invited you up there. I'll go up there, get a drink real quick. But girl, let's go. Yeah, and when I say she got up out of there, she got up out of there. But noticing something different, man. It's got to be what sets you apart from the typical, chick in Atlanta, especially. So
pause. What's the typical chick in Atlanta?
I mean, the chick you meet out, you go out, have a couple drinks here and there. I mean, the party girl.
Okay,
the
social
life.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
The chick that's always out.
Okay, got you. Just want to clarify.
So you can get entertainment, but at some point that gets old. You know, you're doing the same thing with the same people, going to the same place. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so it was a little substance there. The initial meeting, like I said, it was a lot of substance. Okay. But I got a little bit of it on the date.
Okay.
But yeah, after the first date, especially, like I said, the similar experiences we had, just the conversation was different. It was on another level, you know. Usually you're coming down a lot of times to engage in conversation with people, and we were like on the same level from day one. So I would say, yeah, just a woman that is adding value to your life. I want to get on that whole
an asset.
Yeah, I wouldn't say an asset, but
just value. You
know, adding some type of value.
Okay,
is your life better with her? You know, are you at peace? Do you have joy when she comes around? I feel like we had that. You know, we enjoyed each other's company. You know, I enjoyed hanging out with you. Like after the first date, we was like, "Where we going?"
You ain't want to go home.
Nah, I don't want to drop you off yet. So it's been like that since day one. So you definitely got to have somebody that you can be friends with. Mm-hmm. And I just, like I said, a woman that just adds value. However you define that. Somebody with character for sure. That's probably the biggest thing. And that's what I saw. I saw somebody that had some character. So.
Thank you.
What's going on in that?
What's going on here? Okay. All right. So let's get into these questions because, again, you know the whole men are from Mars, women are from Venus thing. I think that we don't know what each other, like, I don't know what men are thinking. I do because I have been blessed to have the homeboys. Like, I've always been the homegirl. I have seen the things and I know what other women are doing, so I never wanted to be the woman doing those things because I've had so many homeboys. A lot of women don't have that experience. They don't have homeboys. They don't have older brothers. They don't have a real, true man telling them what they think that's not tied to liking them, you know, or,
He's not gonna be honest with you.
Exactly. They don't have that real honest. So I want to have a real honest conversation. And I think that part of the reason why we have such a strong friendship is because we had so many honest conversations at the beginning before we were.
I wouldn't even say conversations.
It was just questions.
Had a lot of honest questions.
We did. We I don't even know if it was a game, but we literally would just ask each other the most random questions that were not tied to me specifically. It was like, you know, what would you do in this scenario? What would you think about this? Mm-hmm. And that really helped us to get to know one another. So let's help the people. Question number 1. And y'all, these are y'all's questions. So drop your questions in the comments. You can put them in my IG stories. I'll be sure to ask them on an upcoming show. First one. What do men expect on the first date?
First date. It depends on the man. Definitely to have a good time.
Marriage-minded man, because we're not just talking about men.
Regardless of the man, we want to have a good time. Like nobody wants to be with the boring chick that can only say 2 words the whole time. So definitely have a good time. What that good time is just depends on the person. Okay, it depends on how the date goes, where you go, what you got on,
So have something to talk about. So be interesting.
Definitely having enjoying the person's company for sure. So I've been on some dates where I wanted to just get up and be like, all right, I'm going to pay for your meal, but I don't think
I've been on a date where I did just get up. You ever left somebody on a date? I did. It was a terrible, terrible date. But okay, so you want to have fun. I think that is foundational for men, period. Not just on a date. Y'all want to be with someone who is fun. Yeah. Like, let's just start there. So showing up with a great personality, being interested in what they're talking about, and interesting. But everybody's interesting. So you don't have to have a great personality. But one of the things that you can do, and this is just some free game, you ain't even got to come to the summit for this one. Write down 5 to 10 interesting things about yourself, things that you're proud of, things that, you get excited when you talk about. These are the things that you can use as conversation pieces on these dates so that you aren't just sitting there looking like crazy or rattling off all these interview questions because you don't really have anything to say.
But you don't want to talk about yourself too much, though.
No, well, you don't have to say all 10 of them, but you have something to pull from.
I got you.
It's like you got a database. Cool. So
I didn't do the Tinder challenge. So I didn't,
you didn't do the Tinder challenge. I'm catching you up. It's okay.
You know how this thing goes.
It's okay. Okay, so it's 2022. A lot has changed, right, in the dating scene. Will a man take a woman seriously if they sleep together too soon?
It depends.
Part 2 of the question is too soon.
If I don't know you, yes. If I don't know your name, your last name. It happens. It happens. Let's just be real. I'm not saying I did it, but it happens. If I don't know anything about you, that's a red flag. Like,
okay, so but how many people like? I don't think I knew your last name for maybe from Instagram because
that should be a good.
If I don't, so that should be the rule. If you don't know their last name, don't lay down if you don't know their last name.
Yeah, how you gonna find them? I guess with Instagram these days.
How you gonna find them? That's a good question. So what's too soon then? Before you know that information. So if we have ran down those details on the first date, then I can sleep with you tonight and it's no problem.
I can't answer that. I don't know. It just depends. There's so many variables that go into that type. Because I know some dudes that don't care. I'm gonna be honest. Some dudes, they judging you.
But let's talk about the rule and not the exception. Because there's always gonna be some.
I think you can't go wrong with waiting. You know, I'm not saying 90 days, 120 days, whatever Steve Harvey says, but it should be a time between when I got your number, we went on a date, we met again on a date.
So
right.
a couple. So I literally.
I'll say a couple dates.
And I feel like Atlanta is a little different. Like things are real weird here in Atlanta. But I literally talked to a single man who said that he has not had to wait more than 1 week to sleep with any woman that he's going on a date with. Do you think that's average?
I think that's average. I think, especially in Atlanta, I think that's average. A week.
I hope that the red, like the alarms are going off in y'all's ears, ladies, because I was alarmed when I found this out. A week.
You said average, though. We're talking.
This man said, since I moved to Atlanta, I have not known a woman longer than a week before having sex with her.
Yeah, I believe that. No doubt. No doubt. What?
That's just.
You probably know some people too, so.
I mean, yes, it happens, but for you to say there has not been one person longer than a week.
Where is he meeting these women?
But who are these ladies? Because these are multiple ladies that are obviously down with this.
Man, it's Atlanta. Come on. Get out here. You did the Tinder challenge.
I did the Tinder challenge, but I didn't do the. I didn't sleep with nobody on this challenge.
Somebody showed up ready. I'm sure out of them 7 to 10 dates, somebody showed up ready to go.
So the moral of the story to this question is it really just depends on the man.
I think you need to know the person though. Know something about the person.
Know something about the person. All right.
If you're looking for marriage, if you just out here just winging it, trying to have fun.
So this is what I feel like is the disconnect. I feel, and y'all can listen, comment and tell me if I'm wrong, okay? But I feel like women are sometimes in a crossroads because they feel like I want to show him how much I am into him. So I'm going to have sex with him. Maybe sooner than I even want to, but I want him to know that I'm interested in him. I don't want him to think, whatever. But us thinking that we're doing ourselves a favor could literally be shooting us in the foot because we do it too soon and then you're not going to take us seriously.
Most times it is. Most times you're shooting yourself in the foot. I would say it happens because most women don't have anything else to offer. So they lead with,
Sorry, y'all. They're going to be like, don't bring him back.
Like, I'm just being real.
Okay. So you think that women offer up sex because that's all that they have to offer?
That's all they believe they have to offer.
Is that all that men are requiring or requesting?
I mean, if you offering, if you giving out Chick-fil-A sandwiches, who not getting one?
But do you think that women are out here offering it or do you think they're just not saying no? Because I think that a lot of times I just don't want to tell him no.
It depends on the guy too, though. It depends on his status and where he is in life. But I think in this city for sure, like it goes down.
It goes down. All
the women sometimes more aggressive than the men.
3 red flags that make men run. That women wouldn't think about. So again, like this, like I don't want to tell you no to have sex, so I'm gonna have sex with you too soon. That's a red flag. A lot of men are trying you just to see if you want to go for it. That's a whole
and we're gonna go for
thing.
it. That's the thing. We'll go for it and
if you go through with it,
the next
you
week
play
it's
yourself.
like,
it's over.
And we might still deal with you. That's the thing. It's just you'll be put in a certain category basically.
Before we get to the red flags, I got to insert another question here because I have literally heard a man say or talk about the fact that he was waiting a woman out. Like, let's say the woman has a 90-day rule. He's waiting out this 90 days.
He's trying to get his investment back.
Getting his investment back. He's going to wait out the 90 days, act right for the 90 days, have sex. He's nodding his head, so I know this is true. He's going to have sex with her, and then he's either going to go ghost or do whatever it was that he was going to do anyway. So are we necessarily helping ourselves by having these rules, or are y'all just going to play by the rules and get what you want and do whatever you're going to do anyway? Is there a point here?
I think you should have some standards for yourself, have some respect for yourself, have some base level of like what you're not going to do.
But we don't necessarily have to do like the 90-day Steve Harvey thing.
Not necessarily. Like I said, it depends. But if I've only seen you one time in 90 days, we've only had one conversation through text.
Those things matter.
You know what I mean? It's different variables that go into it.
Oh, okay.
So time isn't the only one, but that's probably the biggest one. You know, what has happened in that time.
So what I'm gathering, and then we're gonna move on because we have really been talking about this sex thing for a minute. But what I've gathered is, ladies, just wait until you are comfortable with your decision. Because doing it any sooner than you're really comfortable is literally it's not gonna like help you. It's not. It's not going to change the outcome. It's not going to give you extra points. It's not going to put you any further or any closer into getting into a committed relationship. So let's get into these red flags. Top 3 red flags that make men run. And I want you to think of ones that women would not know were a red flag. So for example, if I show up to our first date and I'm driving a G-Wagon, that might be a red flag. I've heard older men say that's a red flag for men if you have all of the things already. So that was just my example.
I wouldn't say red flag, but that is something that you might just pay attention to, you know.
What would be your 3 red flags?
I would say drama with an ex or baby daddy.
So like talking about it too much, or even you knowing about it, I guess it could
be it could be you talking about it and me seeing your response to it. It could be him calling while we're on the date and you getting 12 calls in 2 minutes. It could be us running into him out somewhere. I mean, it just depends. But if you still have someone that is attached to you,
flag.
It ain't even a red flag. I want no
with.
parts of it.
Black flag. Okay.
It's a black flag. Yellow flag.
Gotcha.
Whatever.
Next.
Flag.
So baggage,
so
basically,
baggage,
you're holding on to baggage.
So if you still have an ex that either wants you, communicates with you, or vice versa, because a lot of women be out here dating, they don't be over their dude. That's a big thing. They just be, you know.
One of the most important parts of the summit is the breaking up with the bad habits, the misbeliefs, the bad behaviors, all of the things that you literally have to let go of before you move into this next relationship, because you're literally just going to be piling on top of pile on top of pile on top of pile and repeating the same behavior. So, okay, drama was one.
I don't want to go there, but multiple baby daddies.
You can go there.
Yeah.
Multiple
children from multiple men. So that's probably a no for me. I wouldn't say a red flag. It's like, nah.
Do you think that that's pretty typical? Like your conversations with your peers? Because we are getting typical, older in age. So I think that
it's a common thing.
It's a conversation now.
It's a common thing now. I mean, at our age, I mean, you're lucky if they don't have one.
Exactly.
But
so do you think men are willing to bend on it more as we get older, or no?
The men I know aren't.
Okay.
Maybe one.
But after that, it's
better
over
be
with. You better have been married.
Yeah, you better. I ain't gonna say necessarily been married, but the situation needs to be worked out. So,
gotcha.
You know.
But is it different if there are multiple kids that have come from a previous marriage? You still don't care. Okay, next question.
Not for me.
How can a woman tell if a man is taking her seriously?
Consistency. What'd you say? You said that right? Being consistent. I
think if you're asking this question, it's a no. Because I never asked. I never wondered to myself, is he playing games? What does he want? Is he serious?
What after that 90 day or whatever your rule was, what happened?
Yeah, I did the 90 days.
You know what I mean?
I did more than
if you do 90 days
actually.
And then 91 come, what is he doing? Is he texting you back? Is he still as interested?
He was.
Or is he say
you? Yes, you. I'm talking about you. It was you. Yeah, but I think that is how you would know whether or not, it was worth even put in the 90 days because you literally could have just wasted 3 months that you are never going to get back. So consistency. If a man is consistent in his actions, if there's no confusion, I think if there's any confusion, then you already know. Like if you, for the women who were DMing me questions about how to know if, telling me all your business about this particular man, if you have to ask those questions, it's a no. If you have to ask those questions, it's a no. And we know that. We just, a lot of times don't want to admit it or face it. Okay, so last question. And again, y'all, was that all? You have another one?
I don't know.
Drama, baby daddies. I think
I
think you said that twice. Yeah, he's serious about the baby daddy thing. You got another red flag?
I say attitude.
Like what?
Like if you have a bad attitude, or
what would be the red flag though? Like if you made me mad and I went crazy and started cursing you out?
How you treat other people. So we could be on a date and you curse out the waitress, or you had an issue in the parking lot. Now you ready to fight. I'm out of here.
Thanks.
Yeah, no thank you.
Because you are thinking that this woman is not just going to be somebody you're sleeping with, but you are looking for your wife. Yeah. Right?
So bad character all around. So if you show up gossiping about your friends and
in my opinion, a man who wants to be involved, that's how you will know if this is a man who's marriage minded or if this is a man who's going where you want to go. Because any man that doesn't have a problem with those things, to me, it's like you're not looking for a wife.
Not looking for that.
You're not looking for anything. We're just,
I'm gonna do whatever it is.
It's just fun.
Get to that 90 days.
Okay, so my last question. What is one piece of advice for a single woman out there who is ready? She is ready, but she doesn't want to settle. One piece of advice.
When you say ready.
She's ready. She's ready for commitment. She feels like she's ready to be a wife.
Has she been to therapy?
That might be your answer.
There we have it.
Okay.
Because if she not,
they're not gonna let you come back. I told him, y'all. I tried to tell him, don't get me canceled. It's the first episode. But y'all do have to.
I ain't say that too crazy. But no, I mean, this is every person needs to go to therapy, especially black people. We all need therapy. Because
we have some unresolved PTSD that we have carried on for generations and generations. And forget the generations and generations, relationship to relationship to relationship. If you have been in at least 2 relationships, hands down 100%, you've carried something from one situation to the next situation. So if you are really, truly committed to creating a healthy, happy marriage, not just getting married, because getting a ring, it's not that hard, sis. It's not that hard. Creating a healthy, happy, lifelong marriage, I think it comes down to starting with a solid foundation. So hopefully these answers and this conversation will help you to create that for yourself, because I truly, truly believe that there is a perfect partner out there for you, getting prepared for you right now. But you got to put yourself in position. The only way that you can put yourself in position is by getting prepared. So make sure y'all continue to tune in to the Girl Stop Playing podcast, because we are going to get you prepared. And if you have not subscribed yet, girl, stop playing.
Stop playing, ladies.